אחים גם ביחד, הנה מה טוב והנה מה טוב. הללי, הללללללי, הנה מה טוב והנה מה טוב. הללי, הללללללי, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם ביחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם ביחד. On the second song on page 10, מה יפה היום. Sing. מה יפה היום, שבת שלום. מה יפה היום, שבת שלום. שבת, שבת שלום. שבת, שבת שלום. שבת, שבת שלום. שבת שלום. מה יפה היום, שבת שלום. מה יפה היום, שבת שלום. שבת, שבת שלום. שבת, שבת שלום. שבת, שבת שלום. Shabbat Shalom. So we're on page 10, and the third song should be Yedid Nefesh. Yedid Nefesh Avarachama. Yedid Nefesh Avarachama. Meshochav Decha El Retzonecha. Meshochav Decha. La 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 la. El Retzonecha. Yarutz Avdecha. Ishtachaveh lai la lai, la 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 lai lai lai, el retzonecha. Meshochav decha El Retzonecha. Meshochav decha. La 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 la. El Retzonecha.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is so wonderful to see all of you here, to be back in our sanctuary after the cantor and I and about 25, 6 of us were gallivanting across the globe to Italy, connecting in. Give us a little Italian something.
Yeah, Shabbat.
Yeah, he's fantastic, cantor Doug. And that's pretty much what he did all throughout
all through
Italy. It was a great trip in We were 8 time zones away. We're back here now, which is wonderful to be here. We're all adjusting, and in another week we'll go 9 time zones away as we take almost 40 people, multi-generational groups, including 3 B'nai Mitzvah, to Israel for a mission in our Holy Land. Samantha will become one of the young people becoming B'nai Mitzvah that week. You want to do your Torah portion right now?
No.
No, okay, we're not going to do it. Thank you to our CPC, our Communications and Program Committee, for the delicious Shabbat dinner we had beforehand and the idea to try the Chinese food. I actually got a fortune, and I can't wait to call my mom. It says, "Your genuine talent will someday find its way to success." Seriously, it says that. So I'm hoping that one day I'll get there. Welcome to all of you who are worshiping with us via the live stream. Thank you to Bronze Productions for helping make that possible. We hope you'll worship and enjoy with us as we celebrate Shabbat. We are on the footsteps of another Jewish holiday. Shavuot begins soon. Shavuot, the Festival of Weeks, 49 plus 1 days from Passover. It's a time that we celebrate the bringing in of the harvest, if we were farmers, but it's also when we celebrate the receiving of Torah at Mount Sinai. We celebrate it in many different ways. For Orami this year, we're going to do it with a Shavuot hike on Sunday morning at 9 o'clock. There's flyers out there. And we will walk and be in the outdoors and celebrate the Torah of nature and life. But it's important that tonight we will pass down Torah midor lador from one generation to another. We'll pass it down from past presidents to current president, who will pass it on to our next president and our board as they carry the leadership into the future. We will be joined by our teens, who are all upstairs, our Lamptey board led by Jamie Kleinenberg, who will also be installed with us tonight. As the young and the young at heart come together to lead us into the future. They have their own activities, meetings, prayers, and then they'll join us when the time is right. So take a moment, close your eyes, and breathe in. And let it out. Breathe in. And let it out. Only when we breathe in and let it out. Keep doing it on your own, I know you can. Only when we breathe in and let the breath come can we be filled with the possibility of shalom, of peace. You can't find peace, that peace of Shabbat, when you're running around. You can't find peace when you're running after. You find peace when you slow down and take in community and caring and light and love and Torah and tradition. Then you become the ore, the light of life that will carry you through into the year. So we're going to light Shabbat candles in a minute to bring light into this world. Let me invite you to turn to page 28.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav Vetzivanu lehadlik ner Vetzivanu lehadlik ner Vetzivanu lehadlik ner Shel Shalom.
28 and then page 30. Please rise and sing.
בדברו הריב ערבים בחוכמה פותח שערים ובתבונה משנה עתים ומחליפת על זמנים ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כצונו אוריון ולילה גולל אור מפני חושך וחושך בפני אור ומעביר יום ומביא לילה ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה אדוני צבאות שמו אל החי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני המרי ערבי Seated, we'll continue on page 35. If you're lost, you feel afraid, and you don't know what to say, then listen to our Is there a question on your mind? Is the answer hard to find? Then listen to our God. Listen with all your heart and soul, and with all them and learn them and teach them well every morning and night. Close your eyes. Quiet yourself. There's nothing to say. Stop all the chatter that gets in the way. And listen to our God. When the wind and the thunder finally disappear, there's still a voice that you will hear if you listen. You can hear it from the top of the highest hill, from the valley below. It can come from the edge of the universe it can come from within your soul. Close your eyes. Page 40 in the program. La 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha bailim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar bakosh, morati lo osefel, morati lo osefel, ya la 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 la, 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 la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la Ma'alechutecha ra'u banecha, bokeh hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze'eli anu ve'ameru, Adonai imloch le'olam ha'ed. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. La 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 la. Page 44. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et Hashabbat, la'asot et Hashabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beni uven b'nei Yisrael, oti leolam, oti leolam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et Hashabbat, la'asot et Hashabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz, veshamru b'nei Yisrael et Hashabbat Shehi Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Veshamru Bnei Yisrael Page 48, if you're able, will rise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagedol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Vekonei Hakol Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot U'Mevei Geulah Livnei Bneihem Le'man Shemo Be'ahava Melech Chozer Moshiach Magid Baruch atah Adonai Avraham Ezrat Sarah. Page 50. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, בחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עבר. ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו על כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
603,550. 603,550 are the number of Israelites the Torah teaches left Egypt with Moses. We know because in this week's parashah, Bamidbar, the beginning of Numbers, the book of Numbers, we know that Moses was called to do a census, and he counted what people usually say are the Israelites, and he comes up with 603,550, which coincidentally ties into the number of letters in Torah. Each person represents a letter, represents holy words that lead to holy actions and holy light. Except they only counted the men of fighting age. They didn't count the women. They didn't count the elderly. And they didn't count those who were too infirmed to fight, and they didn't count the children. And so 603,550 is an important number. It's a number of people who were there to protect our people during the dangers of the wilderness wandering. But it didn't include everyone. People are forgotten. People are left aside. We're told to count kol echad, everyone. The last letter of echad is a dalet. Look like that. Or like that. Does that look right?
The other way, that way.
Yeah, this way. You know what happens when people aren't able to stand up straight, aren't able to assume responsibilities, when life starts to weigh them down because of their work, because of things going on in their family, with their health, with disabilities, with challenges with their kids or parents or more. Everything starts to bend a little bit, and they bend over. And the Dalet becomes a Resh. And Echad, count Kol Echad, every one, becomes Kol Acher, others. People who were one who counted start feeling like they're others that they don't count. You felt it when you've been sick and pulled back from the community, when your parents are struggling and you're pulled away from the community, when you're worried about your children, about your health, your financial strength, when the job is going, the relationship is breaking, in the midst of addiction or miscarriage or more. We who were once one of the people who counted feel like we are acher, that we don't count. So whenever we get together as a community, we count differently. We stop in the midst of what we're doing, and we count all those who can't stand up for themselves. We do that as we traditionally do with words of blessing, the Misha Berach, when we name those who are struggling, and we ask for blessing, for God's healing, as they face the future. May they find strength and courage and the ability to heal. Some of you here are asking for God's blessing of healing upon your loved ones. As I bring my hand around the room and pass over where you're sitting, I invite you to mention aloud their names in relationship to you. Don't whisper. It can't be caught. Some of it can, but in general. Say it out loud so we can support each other. Tonight we ask for blessings of healing for
Michael Goodman.
Fred Sandy.
Dennis Smith.
Cousin Lori Kerr.
For all of them and all of us, let's turn to page 253, the indented words. We pray together the Misha Berach.
May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
Amen. A few announcements before we go on. It's getting hot out there, and you may want to join us tomorrow at 10 a.m. out in Oak Park on the splash pad at Oak Park Splash Pad for Splash Pad Shabbat. If you're not a little kid, you probably don't want to go, or you can go and have fun. But it's going to be great. That's tomorrow.
If you can say it.
Splash
Pad Shabbat.
Yeah. 10 times fast.
Amazing.
If not, go to that holiday that no one remembers if it's Simchat Torah, Sukkot, or Shavuot, but it is Shavuot. We're having a hike on Sunday the 9th at 9 a.m. at the Upper Las Virgenes Canyon open space. Meet at the Victory Trailhead. There's flyers out there also.
Are participants able to bring their well-behaved dog with them?
I think the answer is no for this one.
Oh, no.
But
no? Are you serious?
I don't know what the answer is. What was the right answer?
I'd want to bring my dog. I'm asking.
Sure, bring your dog on a leash. Whatever they allow is
That's why I said
good.
well-behaved.
We have this worked out so well that we're so on the thing. Thank you. Yes, they may.
Yes.
The well-behaved ones.
Well-behaved
and also your friends and spouses that are well-behaved too. You can bring them. Two other things to know. Adult Confirmation meets again with me on Tuesday, June 11th. Business Roundtable on the Thursday morning, the 13th. And mark your calendars, not now, but July 20th, we'll send out an email. We're going to start a monthly Torah study on Shabbat mornings. It'll be from 8:30 to 9:30, 1 hour, focused on adults, but all ages may come. I'll be leading it most of the time. We will read some Torah. We will discuss the Torah portion. We'll interact with commentators, ancient and contemporary. And it'll be a way of enlivening our souls to go off in. If it works out well, we may expand from once a month to more. So come July 20th, be on time because Torah doesn't wait for anyone. Lastly, next week we will be here. There will be a Torah study Shabbat. Rabbi Julia and Cantor Doug will be leading it. Come and enjoy. I will be up in Santa Cruz where our baby Noah is graduating from college. So I'd like to invite Kaddish. That's right, before that. Let's turn to page 294. I was earlier this morning at the Viewpoint School, the 8th grade graduation. It's called a promotion, and the headmaster invited me to give the invocation. And I planned the whole thing, and what I realized as I was standing up there was for all the people we were blessing, the teachers and the administrators, the students and the parents and relatives, that there was one group I had forgot to mention, and so I added it in. And that is to give blessing for the memories of those who aren't with us, who weren't there as we celebrated these wonderful young children. But remembering that we stand upon their shoulders and their love suffuses every moment of our lives, even as they're gone. Some of you here are remembering your loved ones, those people who were blessings in your life, blessings that were easy to count, and some who gave you life or were important to you, but there's still challenges in those relationships. We still remember them. Upon their shoulders we stand. Tonight, as we say Kaddish, we invite you to mention their names and relationship to you aloud. This evening, we remember.
Vanessa and Dale, my brother and sister.
Mother and father. Father.
May their memories be for a blessing. Let's turn to page 294, and if you're able, we rise as we say together. Yit gadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah be'alma divarach chirutei v'yamnichma chutei b'chayechon u'v'yamachon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agalau v'zman kariv imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach leolam ulolmei almaya. Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit ba'ar v'yit romam v'yit naseh v'yit hadar v'yit aleh v'yit alal shmei d'kudusha brichu. Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, damiran be'ama v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Please be seated. Or zaru al tzadi. Yisrael simcha, or zaru al tzadi, Yisrael simcha, or zaru al tzadi, Yisrael simcha, or zaru al tzadi.
I'd like to invite up to the bima someone that most of you don't know, but someone who has touched the lives of everyone here and most people in the West Valley Jewish community, and yet you still don't know who he is. I'd like to invite up Chris Jaffe to join me up here on the bima. How many of you were evacuated from your homes during the fires? How many of you should have been evacuated, were under mandatory evacuation, but even stayed? Raise your hand if you left your home or should have left your home. Okay. Almost 90% of the people here, hands down. How many of you know someone who lost a home? Our own congregants, Jimmy and Susie. How many of you, during the fires, received a phone call from someone from the congregation? How many received 2? 3? Some of you 4. When the fires started raging their way through, Rabbi Julie and I and Alana Nemitov, now Rabbi Alana Nemitov, were in the synagogue doing a program with teens to help them talk about the shooting that just happened out at Borderline. And then we heard that the fires were raging in Thousand Oaks, and then on a moment's notice, we took the Torah, Sefer Torahs, some things from our office, we took the server, and we left. And that was prescient because soon thereafter the fire started rushing through. At about 10 o'clock that night, Rabbi Julia texted me and says, let's have a kids camp and an adult hangout. And because of Michelle's connections, my wife Michelle's connections, she works at D. Toledo High School, they opened up the school. And we put together a camp the next morning, and people came and volunteered. And the fires started raging, and all over we were getting phone calls and offers of help. They said to me, to Rabbi Julia, to Cantor Doug, tell us what we can do, congregants who weren't yet evacuated. And as it seemed that more and more people were in danger, and the community was in danger, people kept asking, what can we do? And the truth is, we didn't know what to do because it was becoming clear that the scale of the devastation was going to be huge. And we got together, all the rabbis and the educators from some of the day schools and camps and people from Jewish Family Service at D. Toledo. We had a meeting, and we came to realize that we didn't even know what questions to ask, but we knew we were in trouble. And to someone, we said, we need help. Someone said, I know a guy, a nice Jewish boy, who grew up at Stephen Wise Temple and went to day school there. And he can help us. So they told me the name, and I started to internally chuckle. Chris Joffe I knew when Michelle and I, when our kids went to Stephen Wise Temple. His mom worked with Michelle at Stephen Wise Temple, and he was a little kid running around, and we'd get together for holidays and dinners and various things, and he was a smart, rambunctious young man. I kept that all to myself because, God willing, this guy knew what he was talking about when he came in. Well, he came in that day. He sat down with all of us, and he laid out a plan for how we were going to save our synagogues and save the Jewish community. 8 synagogues were evacuated during that time. 3 camps were burned down. Ilan Ramon Day School, our neighbor, lost more than half of its buildings. The Jewish community was in diaspora again, and we were scared. Chris and his company, Joffe Emergency Services, that has 14,000 people all over the country, that goes into places after hurricanes and floods, after the fires up north, gets schools back in their schools or education back up and going, said, I'm a Jewish boy from this community. I'm going to help you all. Don't worry about the cost. I'm here to help. You know those emails you received from us? He and his team wrote them, gave them to us, we edited them and sent them out. You remember the calls that you got? Some of the information we shared came because Chris and his team knew what to say, what information needed to be out. Some of you received help, and some offered resources that others used. He set up the databases, he set up the connections, got us going. We easily went to people's homes for Shabbat services, but the other synagogues that were out, Chris and his team found places for them to have services, helped them find cleaning companies and work with their insurance. If any single person or organization saved the Jewish community, put us back on our feet so that we end our year smiling and safe, it's Chris Joffe and Joffe Emergency Services. And to know who this young man is, not so young, but this wonderful man is to know that none of you know his name because he works quietly, has the leaders up front of the organizations to ensure that we carry forward. Well, at Congregation RME, we don't let people do a mitzvah of that extent without taking a moment to thank and recognize. So I'd like to invite our president, Fred Gruber, to join me up here on the bima. And we would like to present you, Chris Jaffe, and Jaffe Emergency Services. You stand in the middle, and Fred, if you hold this, with I have to read it first, with an award, the Keeper of the Light Award, one of our highest awards at Congregation RME. It says, for exemplary community leadership, ensuring the safety of the Jewish community in the face of the Woolsey fire. July 7th, 2019, 5 Sivan, 5779. Chris, they say Torah Ora, Torah is the light. The light enhances, but sometimes the light, the flame, in other ways, can burn and destroy. You ensured that the light of Torah retains its ability to be healing. And for that, we will be forever in your debt, and thank you tremendously. So on behalf of Congregation RME, turn this way. You can give him a standing ovation.
Semen tov, mazel tov, semen tov, semen tov, mazel tov, semen tov, semen tov, mazel tov, semen tov. Yehelanu, 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 ulechol Yisrael. Yehelanu, yehelanu, ulechol Yisrael.
So Chris, that's the award for your shelf. This is the hat for your head, Ora Me, your home. You're always home here. You have a home here. And we have for you one of our signature Ora Me fleeces. When you go into those colder areas, you'll do that. If he's around later on, I know he has to run, please be seated. You'll find out that he has 14,000?
1,400.
1,400. Okay, feels like 14.
That's okay.
People all over the country, calls him in all over, and runs an organization that's second to none. So thank you for all you've done. Enjoy these, enjoy that. We're so proud of you. Thank you. Want to say a couple of words? Sure.
Thank you. Truly, mostly for the sweater. I appreciate hearing all that you shared about the work that we did, but I think it's important to remember that there's a we there. We did get to the conference room at D. Toledo that day, and like all of the crises that I've gotten to respond to and work through, there were a group of people there, and like I always do, I said, each crisis you will find two surprises. One is a gift. It's something that makes us triumphant. It's one that will be exciting. It's one that we'll remember forever. But in each crisis, we also have a catastrophe of some sort. We have something that goes wrong, something that doesn't go as planned. And in this case, I don't think there's any question that the sheer magnitude of the fires was what went wrong. That was our moment of desperation. But for me, the moment of hope, or the surprise that was positive, was the leadership of this clergy, because they were there at the front of the room, and they were there helping others, as simple as it sounds, just be human, recognizing some of the emotion that was going through other rabbis that were in the room, other leaders that were in the room, and giving them permission almost to lean into being human and being upset. And so more than anything else, I'm grateful for all that I got to learn from you and from the rest of the clergy. So thank you.
Now get out of here. Awesome. Thank you. Or Zeruah Tzaddik, there is a light that shines for the righteous. That's one of our tzaddikim, one of our righteous. I'd like to invite up one of the other righteous leaders that have led this congregation through the fires, through expansion, through learning, and more. We are honored to call to the bima Congregation RME's current president, Fred Gruber.
Doesn't fit.
How about this? I got a small one.
Have a present.
Thank you.
Oh boy. Good evening and Shabbat Shalom. The journey of Congregation Orami is built on the foundation of the shoulders of all of us. Individually, each president adds their shoulders to support this journey. I feel honored and privileged to add my shoulders for these past 2 years as your congregational president. It's been an amazing journey because of this inspiring community. I have many people to thank for joining me and supporting me on this journey. My wonderful wife, Susan, is my partner in all this. We have had a very busy 2 years, and Susie, your dedication to me, as well as our second home, Congregation Orami, has been instrumental in my being able to focus on the big picture to manage the many objectives and challenges that arose during my term. I love you and thank you for your unwavering support. As a president, I'm joined in leadership by board members and committee chairs. Our lay leadership these past 2 years have provided tremendous knowledge, meaningful input, and insightful wisdom as we charted the course of many of the important objectives that resulted in the positive directions we have taken. I want to thank each and every one of you for your support and commitment to our Congregation Orami. If you're a current board member or committee chair of Congregation Orami, please rise and be recognized. We have some of our past presidents in attendance, Lucille Shalman-Golden and Hetty Gross. Please rise and let us recognize you as well. Also, please join me in congratulating the incoming Lamti board, led by their president, Jamie Kleinenberg. They're a very integral part of our congregation.
Move one way or the other. No, just use one of the mics rather than in the middle.
Perfect. Okay. Being president of Congregation Orami provides an opportunity to form a sacred partnership with the clergy of the temple. As I have stated as often as I can, our clergy offers skills that far exceed knowledge from the Bema. They are all strategic thinkers, raising questions and offering insight in matters that transform and uplift. Not only are they my partners in this journey, they are my friends. Thank you, Rabbi Paul Kipnis, Cantor Doug Kotler, Rabbi Julia Weiss, for your amazing support during my term. I look forward to continuing this wonderful relationship in the years to follow. Everybody knows you, but please rise to be recognized for your contribution. Every good leader has a list of goals, sometimes comprehensive, sometimes exceptionally bold. That initial list can change depending on the circumstances we face as things change. I'm a process-oriented person, always looking for ways to streamline this or that, simplify, automate, document. We've done that with the new software system, ShowCloud, that we use to run our temple. We've done that by hiring staff and empowered all our staff to contribute ideas for improvement because we have a culture in our office that encourages participation in risk and experimentation, always allowing for failure when we learn from it. A temple is in many ways a business too. We use business principles to advance our Torah values. I'd like to thank our office staff, Susie Stark, Lizette Tui, and Jenny Mestrella for their dedication and support. Not to lose sight of the compassionate side of what it means to run a temple, we have continued to focus on Tikkun Olam with the many programs we run year after year, like Mitzvah Day, the annual shopping spree for kids for New Directions for Youth, helping people with food and housing challenges, introducing programs to address teen mental health, and Hach Nachsach Orchim, opening our congregation in an inclusive way so all people of any color, gender, faith, or ability feel welcome in our community, just to name a few. I am so proud of what we have done. Take a look at the new floors and carpeting, which makes our home that much more beautiful and usable. Kvel with me as we celebrate the growth of our Kiddush clubs for tots and the adults that love them, as well as our programming for people with young children. Let's be inspired by the new Menschify program and the expanding teen programs. We began an adult confirmation program, deepened weekly Torah study, expanded our youth song leaders, and studied with scholars from Hebrew Union College. Our Sukkot Shalom, Peace and Housing for All organizing team has made significant strides addressing homelessness, in part by building an interfaith coalition of other like-minded religious organizations. I'm thrilled that we welcome the president of the Union for Reform Judaism, Rabbi Rick Jacobs, and will welcome this coming February the new chief executive of the Central Conference of American Rabbis, the first woman to lead our national organization. And don't forget, when those fires were burning all around us, Or Me took care of our own and led the Jewish community in our fire response. Let's celebrate our community's work. We truly have a Kehillah Kedoshah, a holy community I am proud to call my second home, that we all should be proud to be part of. All of what we do as leaders is just a microcosm of what we do as a congregation. And without all of you, our congregants, none of this would be possible. We have grown these past 2 years, predominantly in our new young families, with children and my demographic, the empty nesters. We've developed travel programs to enhance the education of our youth, generational trips to kindle family connections, and adult trips to build community, learning about Jewish history in the process. I'm blessed with developing personal relationships with many of you, so much so that when I went to Israel and Italy with the temple, I told people I traveled with 40 people who became amongst my closest friends, rather than say, I went here or there with my temple. This growth is important. For the first time in many years, due to our growth and proper fiscal management, we were able to hold our partnership fees unchanged for this next fiscal year. In this day and age when so many congregations are shrinking, we are expanding. We refocused our marketing and messaging to speak the truth we all feel, that Or Me, your home, that at Or Me, your home. We have so many programs focused on engaging you all, whether it's social connection programs, social action programs, spiritual and Torah programs, or religious services. We continually strive to find new ways to connect us. Our theme Shabbats are a hoot. Our beach Shabbats offer warmth and connection in a very different, casual way. Our high holy days are uniquely engaging and impactful, raising our spirits to new highs and aiding us as we seek teshuvah, repairing our souls. My wish for you, my Or Me family, is that you continue to find the compassion, warmth, friendship, love, and light for your personal spiritual journey here at Congregation Or Me. I love being here. I have loved being your president. I am excited to become immediate past president, right? Because I get to serve alongside our incredibly talented and compassionate new president, Leslie Kraut. I look forward to seeing all of you every Shabbat, or as many as possible. Thank you all for sharing this journey with me. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Blessed is the Holy One of blessing, who gives us life, keeps us in life, and brought me, us, to this special moment. Shabbat Shalom.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Please be seated. It ain't over, Fred. But man, as you go from being president to immediate past president, you leave this congregation with such strength. In a world where the costs keep going up and up and up, you and your team have ensured that we are fiscally solid, safe, that we didn't have to raise membership fees or education fees. This probably happened twice in the life of this congregation. You've ensured that Rabbi Julia and Cantor Doug and I have the resources, the space, and the partnership to expand youth programs and adult programs, to bring in interns, to do anything that comes to mind. You made sure that even as we did the work of Orami, we were out in that community shining the light of Orami. But you did it with such warmth, such hamishness. You had the foresight to say that we have to get out of this 1990s membership database system and get to one in the cloud, and you moved us over to Shul Cloud, and you did the work yourself to make sure we were up and running. And we never understood how significant it was until those fires hit. And the next morning, Orami was up working again and calling people because all our information was out there safe and secure. You put in systems, but systems that let us teach Torah. Along with your predecessors, particularly Michael Kaplan, who couldn't be here because he needs to be with Brandon as they adjust his regimen. Lucille Shalameth Golden, Eddie Gross, two incredible presidents, each in their own way, ensuring the healing, ensuring the security and strength and the creativity of this congregation. You will be remembered as a partner, as a friend, as a leader par excellence. Like Moses and Miriam, you carried our people forward during difficult times of wandering. And for that, we thank you. Toda rabba lecha. Thank you very much. As you see our teens just came here to be with us, with Rabbi Julia, and we'll do that part of the installation in just a moment. But I want to take a moment to invite up our incoming president, Leslie Kraut, to share a few words before the ritual, for the ritual should carry us through the end of the evening. So join me in welcoming our soon-to-be incoming president.
One microphone, okay, got it. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
I can't believe I have to follow Fred. That was amazing. Amazing 2 years, amazing speech, and thank you for everything you've done. So first, I want to thank Fred for his hard work these past 2 years. You have been so dedicated to this congregation, and I think I can speak for everyone when I say how much everything you've done is appreciated. I know I have big shoes to fill, and I'm grateful you will be sticking around as the immediate past president. You're going to be sticking around, right? Yeah, okay, good. Rabbi Paul, Rabbi Julia, you're out there somewhere, and Cantor Doug. What can I say? You guys mean the world to me, and I am looking forward to continuing this journey together. Thank you for being here and staying around and not going anywhere. Board members, you are the light of Orami, and I cannot do this job without each and every one of you. I'm excited to continue building our community and to work with you on acts of Tikkun Olam, repairing the world. My hope is this next 2 years will be a time of growth for our congregation, both physically and spiritually. We have so much to look forward to. It is my honor and privilege to accept the job as president of Congregation Orami, my second home. Thank you all very much.
I'd now like to call up to the Bima. I'd like to call up to the Bima our past presidents, Lucille Shalamuth Golden and Hetty Gross. I'd like to invite up also our current and incoming president of LOMPTI, our Light of Our People Temple Youth, Jamie Kleinenberg. And though she doesn't know it, representing our outgoing leadership, I'd like to invite up Rachel Kraut, who was, coming out, sorry. One of the, every year, one of the vice presidents on the NIFTY regional board. So, how do I want to do this? You come over here, you two switch places, you two switch places. Yeah, perfect. Okay. First of all. We're trying something new for installation this year. We talk about Torah Ora. Torah is the light. We talk about the light of Orami. We talk about the Ner Tamid, signifying that God's presence is here all the time. We use light to do something different, to change the world. At the end of Shabbat, we go with a Havdalah candle from holy to regular. But at Orami, we try to take everything that's regular and make it holy. So tonight, as we install our adults and our youth, our leaders of the current and future, we're going to invite you each in a moment to come up, and you'll be receiving a Havdalah candle. We'd like you to spread out around, making a circle around the whole sanctuary, and stand there. We'll do a ritual up here, and then we'll light all the candles. Make sure you don't let the wax drip onto
The brand new carpet.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But there's tin foil to make sure that happens.
Yeah.
And then we'll call you forward to stand, adults and youth intermixed together up on the bema and just in front of it for some blessings. And so, when we call your name, please come forward. Orami board members, so you'll get your candle and then go stand somewhere. Rachel Deshevsky, David DeCastro, Michelle Finkelstein, Dan Germain, Sid Goldberg, Susie Gruber, Diane Gubin, Jeff Hennis, Susan Lotwin, Kevin Palm, Rachel Paul, Sarah Radican, Steve Rifkin, and Hannah Spratt. Some people go on the right and all the way around. The rest of the people getting your candles now, go to the right side of the sanctuary, please. We'd like to call up our officers, Secretary Linda Blumenthal, CFO Alan Kasdan, Vice Presidents Sharon Weiss, Richard Rutkin, Karen Povsky, Craig Steinauer. On the bema are our immediate past president, Fred Gruber, and Leslie Kraut. And of course, our ex officio board members, Rabbi Paul Kipnis, Cantor Doug Kotler, Rabbi Julia Weiss, and Michael Kaplan, advisor to the president.
Now I'm gonna call up the Lomti board installees. Programming Vice Presidents Matthew Isaac and Brennan Radican. Social Action Vice President Ellie Schwartz and Community Outreach Chair Jacob Povsky. Religious and Cultural Vice President Jenny Buccieri. Membership Vice Presidents Sarah Schwartz and Stephanie Levy. Financial Vice President Hannah Levy. Communications Vice President Sophia Lieberman and Communications Chair Hannah Finkelstein. And two of our grade reps here tonight, Hannah Fishman and Finn Schwartz.
Just as Moses brought the children of Israel to Mount Sinai, every generation has been brought to the foot of the holy mountain by its leaders, people of pure heart and shining vision in quest of blessing for humanity. Words came to them. Searching for God amidst the storm of life, they heard the cold Mama Daka, the still small voice. Torah and teaching came, were heard, and were transmitted Lador Vador from generation to generation. The sages teach us. Moses received the Torah on Mount Sinai and transmitted it to Joshua. Joshua to the elders to the prophets passed it on to the leaders of the great synagogue. And from that day our Torah has been held aloft by the gentle yet committed hands of the leaders of all the synagogues, be they great or be they small. The sages taught the leaders of the great synagogue 3 things. Be deliberate in judgment, raise up many disciples, preserve the Torah. And they did for thousands of years. The Jewish people have been guided by this ancient book. We honor it and cherish it as a link with our ancestors and as a symbol of our faith.
I'd like to call forward our 2 presidents, Leslie Kraut and Jamie Kleinenberg, to stand in front of the ark. I'd like to invite our past presidents and our past regional board member to stand around them, 2 on each side. I'd like to thank our security company that the smoke alarm doesn't go off.
Yep.
I'd now like to invite slowly, carefully, all of our leaders to walk forward and stand right in front facing out to the congregation. Come forward. In the name of Orami, the light of my people, we, partners and friends of Orami, install you as leaders of Orami and of Lomti. As you assume the duties of your office, you affirm the ancient democratic tradition of the Jewish people, that the synagogue belongs to the congregation, to the community, and serves the community. Your installation in office testifies to the strength of this tradition.
You have come to a position of honor in the life of our synagogue. In your hands are placed affairs upon which the well-being of our congregation and our youth group depend. Its welfare becomes your special responsibility, the overseeing of its work your particular task.
Be true to Torah, for your task is to create Jews who love Torah. Seek Kedusha, ways of uplifting us to holiness, and pursue tzedek, working always for justice. Lead with rachamim, for we are a compassionate people.
Join in partnership with our rabbis and cantor so that the spirit of Jewish life will touch your combined labors. May your service be abundant in blessing for others and enrichment for yourselves. The future of this synagogue and our youth groups are safeguarded by your labors and by your loyalty. May God bless you and your work. We say together, Amen.
I'd like the whole community, congregation, to please rise. And let's create a chuppah with our hands, holding your hands together. If you're able to do the sign of the Kohanim, that shin, the Mr. Spock, or the Nanu Nanu, but hold it up facing the board. And I ask the adult board and the youth board to read these words, to recite these words after me. May we be dedicated to this responsibility and enriched by our achievements. together with our rabbis and cantor, and our youth advisors and staff, may we be faithful leaders of our people, watchful guardians of Torah, and true servants of the Holy One.
We will safeguard the best interests and good name of Congregation Orami. Misha Berach Avotenu V'Imotenu. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless our leadership from this day forth.
And we all say, and as the cantor plays some music, your hands can go down. We invite you in a moment to walk to different parts of the synagogue before you blow it out, because if you all blow out your candles right here, you're going to get all sprinkled by the sprinklers. But know this, that the work you do, you leaders of Lomti, you leaders of the Orami board, president in partnership, you take our congregation and transform it into a teacher of Torah, a doer of Gmilut Chasadim, acts of loving kindness. You ensure that the business is only what we do to create holiness. And you make us proud. Thank you for your time, your energy, and your love. I invite you to walk to different parts of the congregation to blow out your candles.
We will be strong as we walk the paths of peace. Chazak, Chazak, we will be strong as we walk the paths of
Okay, yeah, Rabbi Jewel told me. It's very smoky. Diane, do a little Hashkivenu?
Yep.
Yes. We'll take a moment, a little smoky. We're going to work on that. Someone open that door there. Open that door there.
If we ever needed
We'll
a
open the
fire
back door.
professional, this was the night.
Put your arms around each other.
Hashkivenu Adonai Elohei L'Shalom
L'Shalom.
Shalom
V'ha'amidenu shomrenu.
Amidenu Shomrenu
L'chaim.
L'chaim
Ufros aleinu.
Ufros
was a great idea. Ufros aleinu.
Ufros aleinu
Sukkot Shalom. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings.
Shelter us beneath thy
O Adonai.
Oh Adonai.
Guard us from all harmful things. O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. O Adonai. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Join us for Kiddush, Motzi, and